Hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of the Peacock Sex. UJ here. Um, we have something I think that'll interest you this time. We dealt, I think, the last time with situations in which the man must lead, and mentioned four situations where from the simple to the more complex, where the man, it's in his best interest to lead on a date or uh, protecting a female partner, et cetera, et cetera. This is a little different this time. We're going to look at um, the signs and indicators that tell you that a woman is attracted to you. What are the signs and indicators? Now, these are mainly nonverbal. They could become verbal at some point, but they're mainly nonverbal. They're cues that in particular, a man has to learn so he can tell. Okay, this girl likes me, or this girl's not interested. And they're so now. Um, I've always been interested in this, and I noticed that there is a subcategory of YouTube videos that deal with this same issue. Um, so I typed in, 10 signs a woman is attracted to you, and I got dozens and dozens of videos results. And so I started watching these videos to see if they were in sync with my own personal experience and how much so. Um, some are better than others. When you put in 10 signs, sometimes you get a video that gives you 12 signs, or 8 signs, or 15 signs. So, um, some have like a machine type voice, like a very strange voice. Others are very personal, and they have a person talking to you who's an actual human being. Uh, some are done by women, and uh, they have some insights that are useful to men. So anyway, I decided to tabulate. Decided to watch 20 videos from YouTube based on the results of that query, 10 signs a woman is attracted to you. And I watched 20 of them. Then I tabulated the results to see if they were in sync with one another, if there were results that stand out, and also to match it and compare it to my own personal experience to see how useful um, these videos are. And I'm going to tell you what the review led to. Um, so this is basically a suite of actions, gestures, postures, vocalizations, and yes, some words whereby the woman indicates she's attracted to you. Now, it doesn't go much beyond that because you don't know where that could go. She could have a boyfriend, she could be married. Um, Further interaction between you reveals that you're not really in sync with each other. So uh, it's just that initial attraction. Okay. And it's very important for a man to determine if a woman's attracted to him because it reduces the risk of rejection. So if you know the girl likes you, you can proceed with more confidence. So, and if you see these signs, you can be pretty sure that the girl likes you. And you can even attach percentages to a set of different of signs. And I'll show you how you get to 95%. But um, so okay, so here is the result, and I tabulated the top 10 indicators from this group of 20 YouTube videos made by different people. It's fairly clear just from their content, their style, that it's not one person making all 20. I tried to get 20 videos from different sources. And you could do this yourself. You could type that, 10 signs a woman is attracted to you or a girl is attracted to you. Type it in and you could review it on your own. But I did 20 of them. Okay. So going from the 10 to 1. Oh, let me tell you first. There was one video that said, 12 signs a girl's attracted to you, and one sign that she wants nothing to do with you. So naturally, I wanted to find out what that one sign was and to see if I was in agreement with that. So I had to listen to all 10 or 12. And then at the end, they gave you the one sign that they thought meant a woman was not interested. And it was this. It was this, folding your arms. Yes, yes. If a girl is adopting that posture, folded arms, in a social group, that is horrible for the guy. Horrible. She's protecting vital organs. It's a defensive posture. She's not comfortable with something in the situation or something in her mind or life. So avoid her. So this video was, in my view, correct. It's a very good sign to stay away from that girl. The folded arms. Interestingly, and we'll get into this, the open arms is what you're looking for. Non-defensive, open to an interaction with a man or a boy, young man. Let's say. Okay, so now let's get to the top 10. Here's the top 10. Number 10, her pupils dilate. Now, this was mentioned in 4 of the 20 videos, 20%. Now, um, I don't know that I've ever looked at the pupils. I mean, I think it's very hard to see the pupils. It may indeed be true that with both sexes, our pupils dilate when we're interacting with a person attractive to us. But how can we tell with the different lighting situations? Are you going to take out a magnifying glass and look at her eyes? But okay, if you want to use that, that's fine. It has never really appealed to me as an easy sign. When there are larger signs that are easy to detect, why worry about her pupils? But okay. Number 9, she points her legs and feet toward you. Mentioned in 4 out of 20 videos, 20%. Yes. Um, a girl is going to arrange herself and her posture, especially as she's sitting, to her legs will point to you like railroad tracks, knees ajar, not folded usually, not crudely ajar, but knees, open, and the legs point to you like railroad tracks. That's a very good sign. Her feet and legs should be arranged with you as the object. So it's something guys can notice over time. You might not notice it right away, but eventually you can sort of notice that. So that's pretty good. Number 8, she mirrors your body language and gestures. That's mentioned in 5 of 20 videos, 25%. Um, I suppose that's true. I just have a hard time seeing that, like as you're talking and kibitzing and other people are there. But I think that's possibly a good one if you've noticed that. Um, she dresses to impress. Number 7, always looks good when she's around you. Possibly true. 25%. Yeah, I mean, I guess she would want to do that. It's not um, if she's dressing to impress, how do you know she's dressing to impress you and not the other guy over here? But okay. Now we're getting to the better ones. Okay, she smiles at you. 6 of 20 videos, 30%. She smiles. Now, if it's a natural smile and it's sort of a megawatt female smile where both sets of pearly whites are visible, eyes sparkling and shiny. Um, yeah, that's a good sign for a guy. In the interaction, you know it's natural. Um, you know, she's all smiley and stuff. Excellent sign for you. In and of itself, that's probably 30 or 40% um, set of the way to certainty. 30 or 40% that girl likes you in a possibly romantic way. And we're talking about non-relatives here, people acquaintances, people you might meet at a party or whatever. Okay. She laughs at your jokes. 7 of 20 videos, 35%. She laughs at your jokes. Yeah, because um, a girl's not going to laugh at a joke told by a guy she thinks is an idiot or is disrespectful toward her. She's going to bite her lip till it bleeds rather than laugh at that guy's joke. The fact that she is open to finding what you say funny is very important. And she's assessing you by that means. That's an assessment. Oh, this guy's sort of clever. I like that, and she's open to hearing you say something funny and she's laughing. So yes, that's a very good indicator that the girl is. I was once talking to a male friend of mine, um, and there was a young woman like 2 feet away, but she wasn't part of the conversation really. Like she was over to the side, and I sort of cracked a joke, and I hear this he. I hear this laugh, and I thought, oh, she probably likes me. You know, she's open to listening and to laughing, finding my joke funny. So yes, that's pretty important. Uh, she invades your space, leans in when talking to you. Now, that's 10 of 20 videos, 50%. Uh, yeah, that's part of the process. The girl's getting closer to you. That's what I take this to mean. You know, she's getting closer to you. She's in sync with you. She's gravitating toward you. A girl who sits next to you, as simple as that. That's an active thing. It's not musical chairs here. People can sit in a variety of places. If she's choosing the seat next to you as opposed to all other seats, yes, um, she probably likes you. Um, that's why she chose the seat. And then, and you might see some further indicators. Um, that was mentioned in 10 of 20 videos. That was number 4, 10 of 20 videos, 50%. Number 3, she plays with her hair. She preens. Uh, also mentioned in 10 of 20 videos, 50%. Excellent, excellent. Yes. Um, Females normally have a mane of hair, like the male lion. It's a mane. It's grown long to attract guys. That's its purpose, not to keep their necks warm. When they cut their hair short, there are no health issues involved. Women are fine. So the long hair. Now, again, when she's playing with her hair, she's indoors. Is the wind blowing? Hasn't she fixed her hair before coming to the party, or she went to the ladies' room and fixed her hair? She doesn't need to go to elaborate lengths to fix her hair. It is perfectly well arranged. That is to attract your eye to a favorable element, her hair. That is why she's fixing her hair. She's preening. So she's, you know, and as I mean, she's smiling at you and she's fixing her hair. That is not grooming. Um, as we get smarter and more observant, we realize no, those are the actions of grooming used to flirt. The girl arranges her hair. Um, so that, I've seen that dozens of times, and that is a very good indicator, especially when accompanied by one or two of the other indicators that the woman is attracted to you. Now, each of these elements, as they escalate, and they sort of escalate almost naturally, is going to lead to like 95% certainty that the girl likes you. Some of these you could say, well, she fixes her hair. If she does that in and of itself, perhaps that's not enough for you to act on. But if she does a combination of things, that's something to act on. So she plays with her hair. She preens 10 of 20 videos. Now we're getting even better. Number two, she makes prolonged eye contact. Um, yes, that was mentioned in 11 of 20 videos. 55% of these videos mentioned prolonged eye contact. Now, again, the feminists always complain about the male gaze, the male gaze. Don't they have a gaze? Don't girls have a gaze? They don't have a gaze? And that gaze is fixed on guys often. And guys notice this, and young guys should start to get familiar with this. You know, you can even tell if the girl initiated the glance between you if you lock eyes. Uh, you know, you're locking eyes, but we know who started it, right? If you're minding your own business, you turn your head, and a woman is directing a glance at you, and you lock eyes, you know she started it. She initiated it. How come the feminists never talk about that? They're initiating the glances. Hey, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. It goes, a man can glance at a woman can glance at a man. If it's prolonged eye contact, particularly if the woman initiated it, and you know whether she did, um, that's indicative of her being attracted to you. She's found you attractive. Now, obviously, it's probably just your physical appearance at that point, right? Some of these others, if she lasted her joke, I mean, she has been interacting with you, so it's more than just physical. She's comfortable with your personality, also. So now, drum roll, please. Uh, the number one behavior that indicates a woman is attracted to you, mentioned in 16 of 20 of these videos. So that is 80% of the videos mention this one thing. And I am in complete agreement. Um, she breaks the touch barrier. She touches your arms, hands, shoulders, or chest, etc. She breaks the touch barrier. She touches you. Now, none of the videos mentioned that, like, that thorny topic of whether she got permission. Um, Girls don't need permission. Okay, that is worth a video in and of itself, which will maybe in the future we'll do. The girl touches you. That is the culminating act that should give you 95% certainty that the girl is attracted to you. She touches you. Now, um, let me give a brief listing of the areas of men that a woman could touch, since this is so important. Okay, she can touch your face. Oh, hi, oh, it's nice to see you. Touch your face, um, touch your chest, touch your shoulder, touch your upper arm, touch your forearm, touch your hand, touch your upper back, maybe pat your back, Uh, in using her legs, she could put her knee against your knee. She could play with your pant leg. She could touch your calf. She could touch your foot. I've missed some areas, but these are safe areas for a woman to touch, and some will go to the unsafe areas, but mostly they'll touch safe areas, head, but head to toe, okay? And you never know which woman's going to do it or which part she's going to touch. Um, you can't touch them first, though, which is worth a video in and of itself. But touch is supremely important. And that is the number one indicator that a woman is attracted to a guy. And it usually follows other indicators. So, excuse me. So it's very important for you to note that. And, now some guys might just want to wait. Oh, I'll wait till a girl touches me. I won't worry about these other things. But it's fun to see it escalate. It escalates. So, in a typical encounter, maybe it would go like this. You lock eyes from just a slight distance at a party. Um, the girl smiles at you, plays with her hair. The smile's a megawatt smile and a natural smile. It's not fake. You don't perceive it as fake. Maybe as you start talking, the woman, laughs at a joke you tell or a little clever saying you express, and then maybe she touches your arm or your chest. So that's how it escalates to a touch. And at that point, you got 95% certainty that girl's attracted to you. Now, who knows where it goes from there? As I said, she may have a boyfriend who's away for the weekend, in which case it could lead to a hookup. But in other situations, it could lead to dating or uh, and eventually to intimacy. So it's good to understand that females do this, and it increases. You're going to notice this as you get into your 20s and 30s. You're going to notice it. It's um, like footsie is a part of this. We'll probably talk about footsie in the future. And also the fact that, of course, the girls don't need your consent to touch your chest. Okay. So that girl in that like scenario, she does not need the guy's consent. She does not ask you, oh, is it okay for me to get closer to you and touch your chest? No, she does not have to get your consent. She has ongoing consent. We'll get this is very important. And of course, the feminists are clueless and would never even, they don't even know this, right? They don't know anything. So, um, so as we look over, some of these things, I mean, um, I'm largely in agreement with these. Now, um, I do think they, um, there are some indicators that none of these videos mention, um, uh, that, maybe we'll address in the future, but these are pretty good for just people with an interest in these areas making a video, right? Um, like for instance, just a girl sitting next to you in a chair is a first step, and I guess maybe that's covered by she invades your space, not specifically covered by that, but just the girl taking the seat next to you, she's actively claiming that seat as opposed to other places she could sit. At minimum, she's comfortable with you. She's not afraid of you, and possibly she did it in order to flirt with you. So um, men have to become more observant of this. Now, the girl doesn't reason her way to this. She sees a guy. This is like part of a flirtation pattern in her brain. Girls have like um, a flirtation menu, It's a drop down menu of 30 or 40 things that the girl might do to indicate her interest in a guy. Um, and so, she's got this menu to call upon. Females that are interested in males have this menu, and they're just going to roll it out. Uh, at some level, it might be subconscious. The girl's not reasoning and saying, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this. No, she's not reasoning in that way. This is just part of her sexuality being expressed, and you're the object. You know, talk about objectification. I mean, the opposite sex is our object, right? I mean, for both sexes. Now, do men do some of these things? Possibly, but we don't do it well. So, could a woman just substitute man does such and such? Well, uh, you know, I mean, we may mirror body language of a woman that we are attracted to. Um, I mean, playing with our hair. I mean, we could have a shaved head or hair short. What good does that do, right? Our hair is not worn like a woman's hair. Her hair is a mane. It is implicated in how she attracts males. So, um, um, I mean, prolonged eye contact could be initiated by either sex. Um, but usually the joke goes male to female. The girl laughs at your joke, your clever bit of language. And as far as touch, the guy cannot touch the woman first. That is a bad idea. The woman touches you first. That's the way it sort of has to work. So no, these don't equally apply to both sexes. And the females, it's much more interesting. The female way of doing this, much more interesting. Um, so there's some other things we'll probably get into in the future that a woman could do. Women are pretty creative, and um, going just giving an example on how this might link up with language. Obviously, these are pre-language things. These are um, uh, s- I was in a situation where in my 30s, I found a woman sitting next to me at a small gathering of people. I don't know who sat down first. So if I sat down first and then she came and sat next to me, that would be important because now she's claiming the seat next to me. She's totally cool with me. But I don't know. I found her sitting next to me. Now, and as we talked amidst this larger group, uh, her body language was very open toward me, arms open. Instead of we were facing a table, but she was sort of moved around. She wasn't perpendicular to me, but she was sort of arranged toward me. And we talked about the arranging um, your legs and feet, pointing them at the person you're interested in. So she was kind of doing that. Um, and then she asked me a question. Now, it was a personal question. It was, where did you go to college? Now, she's not writing an essay about where everyone at this gathering went to college. That shows personal interest. So here's another sign. Does the girl ask you a question related to you personally? Um, you know, where'd you go to college? How many siblings do you have? Where did you go to high school? What are you majoring in? Where do you work? She's qualifying you, seeing if you might be a guy that's of interest to her. So she's already attracted. Attraction precedes the question. Girls have no idle curiosity about guys. Their questions have a purpose. So, Now, so I told her where I went to college, and we continued to talk. And then, she touched my feet with her feet. She played footsie with me. So then that was the touch. Often when we're sitting, the touch is footsie. So um, so that is how it could progress and include verbalization, words, as well as just these signs, indicators, etc. Um, One of the things that's just as a sort of as we get toward the final um, part of this video, you know, these are not picked up by rivals. These are subtle enough that they are directed toward one guy, and in a crowded room, he might be the only person who notices them. Because if a girl smiles at you, that how do other people know who the girl's smiling at, right? If she's fixing her hair, people think it's grooming. Um, if she quickly touches your chest, only you know that. Your girlfriend, who's on the other side of the room, doesn't realize what happened. So these nonverbal indicators are very useful uh, to indicate interest, and they don't get you in trouble with rivals. Like the man and the woman each have rivals of their sex. So um, this is very clever. It predates language, and it avoids starting a conflict with a same-sex person, like someone else who might like the guy, like a girlfriend, fiance, whatever. So and then a question like, "Oh, where did you go to college?" It doesn't seem to have much romantic meaning, but it could, because it shows curiosity, and it's triggered in females. It's triggered by attraction. Curiosity in females is triggered by attraction. The curiosity that males exhibit doesn't have to come from attraction. It could be just, you know, um, wanting to know more about a topic or something. So we're curious about girls that we're not necessarily attracted to. But girl curiosity is not idle, it is highly purposeful. So if they're asking you questions about your life, that would tend to show that the girl's attracted to you. So again, there's also the whole area of vocalizations. Females have a tremendous repertoire of vocalizations, all the oohing and the eyeing, and again, I guess you could say the laughter is a vocalization, right? I don't think any of the other things were vocalizations, were they? But not really. They're sort of gestures, postures, touch, eye contact, things like that. But the vocalizations are very interesting. So all these are weaved together. The end result being the guy has 95% certainty. We never get 100% certainty with human beings, So 95% is certainly enough to act upon. And a if a smile alone gives you 30 to 40% certainty, followed by uh, very ostentatious and conspicuous fixing of the hair, that moves you up to 65% certainty. Then she touches your arm or your chest as you talk, that moves you to 95% certainty. So, you can attach your own, that's not scientific. So you can just attach your own percentages to this as you become more familiar with this. Um, so that's about it for this episode. I hope you'll subscribe in advance. That's what they say, right? So we have some great ones coming up, all sorts of topics. This is a complex, highly interesting area. And women are tremendously interesting in their behavior. So we'll see you next time. Subscribe in advance.